Welcome back, fellow shop rats. Today here in the shop, we've got some decisions to make, got some things to talk through, some things to work through, and some stuff to figure out. It's been crazy. My production schedule is so far behind, it's ridiculous. And I've just got to make some hard decisions here about where we're going in the shop and the channel. So don't go away. I'm Mike, and you're watching My Car Shop. Every time I think I'm going to get back on the Forsyth or back on Stitches or get on the Oakland, something else happens. Wanda's been in here 3 times now with brake issues. I think maybe we've got that all resolved. There's very little of the brake system that I haven't replaced. The weather has been absolute crap, as you guys know. It's been 0 and below. No point, even with 3 heaters in here, with the outdoor wood burners, 100,000 BTU. I have an 8,000 watt electric heater and an 85,000 BTU furnace. I could keep it warm in here, but the cost just isn't worth it. So we've just not really been doing much in here unless we absolutely had to. In fact, the episode that's airing tomorrow, where I'm working on that drawing instrument case, I did some of it out here, but I did most of it in the house for that reason. It was just too cold. So here's where we're at. I need to do some shop organization. There's no doubt of that. The parts baking furnace or oven is still sitting there in the middle, kind of in the way. I feel like for a while I need to leave this open in here so I can get the truck in. Which means I can't run the furnace because of where the Oakland is sitting. That blows right on the car, and I don't want to do that to it. So I think we're going to focus back on finishing the hood on the Forsyth Duster for a while. But the first thing I need to do is just kind of wrap my mind around a couple things. We moved the toolbox. I don't really care for where that's at. I'm trying to decide if I put the parts baking oven there, so we need to do some measuring. We have another big whiteboard we need to figure out where we're going to hang. And yeah, we just need to kind of get a handle on things. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. It looks bad, but it's only about 30 minutes work to get things kind of reined back in here. So I'm not going to share all that with you, but I am going to share some thought processes and kind of my strategy of where I want to go here over the next little while. Before I forget, I want to say thanks to Chris and Colleen for the batteries. They put new batteries in their vehicles and gave me the old ones so that I have them for some of the vehicles around here. Very good for nice weather cars and stuff that's inside. Didn't work so well for their vehicles being outside, so it's a winter chicken dinner there. And I think I have almost enough batteries now for all the cars, so that's great. Thanks, Chris and Colleen. I appreciate it. I've mentioned before that I want to find a place to put the items that I have for sale, like this toolbox, those hubcaps. I have a set of 70 CUDA hubcaps. I have a set of 58 Plymouth hubcaps. There's some other 47 Ford stuff over there. I still don't have a good solution for that yet, but yeah, I need to get that upstairs room built. That's going to be the ultimate solution, and I will create a set of shelves that is stuff that's for sale, but that's not happening at this point until at least spring, the way things are going, because we're still doing a remodeling project in the house. Definitely something I want to deal with today is this stuff here on the floor. I've got the hoist for the upstairs boom to bring heavy stuff up on the south side of the shop, or on the barn, the warehouse up there. But I've just got miscellaneous crap, metal stuff needs to be taken care of, and some stuff just needs to be put away. When I had the truck in here, I was tripping over this stuff because I would have to kind of walk through here, and I thought, that's enough. I can't. This was behind the toolbox, so it never bothered me before, but now that we moved the toolbox, kind of a pain in the neck. So yeah, well, the furnace and the toolbox were both here. So anyway, we need to take care of this. So I'm going to do that right now, and we'll be back. I would swear that I'm getting Alzheimer's, except when you get Alzheimer's, I don't think you know you're getting it. I put my camera down, couldn't find it. Finally found my camera. I had a part in my hand I wanted to show you guys. Put that down while I was looking for my camera. Now I don't know where I put that. Oh, there it is. I'll be right back. This is a part, believe it or not. Most people might not know what the part is. If you saw this, you might think, what the heck's that? Piece of garbage. But it's important. This is brake lining for the Oakland, for the band brakes. Now, I'm not going to bend it because it's old. This was in the car when we got it. There's a couple of them. But stuff like this, I need to get this stuff cataloged and organized. You know, I'm not getting any younger, and when something happens to me, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. Maybe 30 years from now, but still, people aren't going to know what this stuff is. So that's kind of important. So I need to squirrel this away somewhere, and there's a bunch of Oakland parts upstairs, so I'll put it in the staging area for going upstairs. But it's been laying down here because I didn't even know it was down in there's a little groove in the floor, and it was in that. And this is where I had a bunch of Oakland parts stored for a long time. And so yeah, now that we're getting this cleaned up, I'm unearthing things. Like I found a set of upper control arm cam bolts and nuts for, I think it's for the Challenger. No idea why they're down there. I'm pretty sure I have all 4 of them in the back room, so those maybe have something else. But it's that kind of stuff that this was a spot that just kept accumulating crap because the toolbox was right here, and it was easy for stuff to just get put there and underneath, and you know, well, you know how it is. I really wish I could get rid of that one pole. It's such a major support for this part of the barn. I don't think it's wise to get rid of it. We've got, how did I do this? When we put this in, yeah, we've got a seam right here where the outside beam on this double stack stops, and then this one goes on further, and then there's 2 here that butt up. So we have 2 here and 2 here, and this support right here supports the end of those 2 beams. I just don't think it's wise to, like, you know, I could put a kicker over like this, but it's such an integral support. I just think it's, you know, it would just open things up so much to have this one pole gone. I mean, the ultimate solution would be to put a steel beam in all the way across, but the size of that beam, I did the math. The size of that beam would it would be down to about here, which would not be good because I couldn't even pull the Oakland over here. So, you know, when we rebuilt all of this, we tore all of this out except for the center beam. We tore all of the structure out. There was posts down here that we got rid of. And we did scissors up this way, up to the outside, to the big posts on the barn. All of the structure up here has been replaced. This entire half of the barn is, well, both sides actually, but this side we did all in one chunk. And had I known, well, you know, I think I could have raised it a little bit, but the more I think about it, I couldn't have because there's a whole bunch more structure up above that you can't see because you're not up there. So anyway, I'm just kind of stuck with what it is right now, and that's okay. But just, man, I've gone through this in my engineering mind a bunch, and I just don't see any way around it. So it just is what it is. But boy, just that little bit of space would make such a huge difference. So anyway, executive decision. I don't know what I'm going to do with that oven. I think it'll fit between the poles, so maybe that's what I'm going to do. I'll spin it around so it's accessible from here, but I won't have it. I had the back of it here before, and maybe I'll put the back of it like just over here a little bit more, so that way it's splitting the difference like this between the poles. And that way I can still get a truck in here if I have to, you know. I think that makes some sense. So I'm going to spin that around, get that in position here. Okay, that works. I just need to level it. Just needs a block on the backside, so we'll take care of that in a bit. So that's good progress. Yeah, obviously the Oakland's not going to ultimately stay there. Dad's been a little bit under the weather, so we're going to not be on that for a bit yet, but soon he'll be coming out, so we'll have to do something. But that gives me time in case the truck needs to come in again. I do need to get Becky's Mini in again and try to get that anti-lock brake wheel speed sensor thing fixed. I just haven't had time or money to fix it. So that will be coming in hopefully eventually, but that'll fit over there without anything. So, and when the weather's nicer, it doesn't matter. We can just pull the truck in part way and leave the door open. But you know, when it's 7-10 below and windy, we don't want to do that. So anyway, it's progress. Yeah, I think I'll put my trash can and the door jack here for now. Let's do that. Yeah, I like that. One of these days I got to take some time and do the electrical that needs to be done to get this from hanging. There used to be a wall here, this whole distance, except for just a bit. I think the wall ended right in here somewhere. We took that out, obviously, so but I think that works for now. So this thing has got to be somewhere, and the welders, I'm still figuring that out. Not sure. It's all about trying things in places and seeing whether you like them or not. Like putting the toolbox over there, I thought I would like it. I don't, so I need to scratch my head on that. Yeah, you know, it's the way it is. Another thing I don't know what to do with is the welder, so for now I'm going to slip it over in front of the oven, and I need to get a plug on that oven so I can plug it in and use it. I've got the extension cord now that Chris put the 220 over there, and we got a cord, so I just need to get it wired up. So Becky wanted to use it for something a while ago, and I'm like, I don't have it wired up yet, so I need to get that done. But I also wanted to say thanks to my buddy Mark. He showed up here one day a couple of weeks ago, right before he was leaving town for a while, and brought me a couple extension cords, some bags with some miscellaneous stuff, a bunch of magnets, and some pipes, and not smoking pipes. Some other stuff some computer stuff that he wanted me to dispose of for him. But anyway, I appreciate it, Mark. You're always funneling stuff up here that I can use, and I really, this is just awesome. This cord is nice and heavy, and it's not too long. It's perfect for the welder, which is why it's staying right on the welder. Definitely like this little pod of stuff here, since I can't get rid of the pole. Splitting the difference with that. That still allows me to move the Challenger over quite tight here, which we'll be doing momentarily. So yeah, I think that's a good move. I got to get my rugs back in front of the lathe and the mill. I was using them when I worked on Wanda. So I think I'm going to do that and then go get some lunch. It's like probably 3 o'clock, so it's time. Normally, though, I don't eat breakfast until 3 o'clock, so I'm ahead of the game today. Feels good. We got piles of stuff to sweep up, but I'll get that done in a bit. I think the next focus, I want to get the machine shop kind of back in order, so I'm going to go get something to eat. I think Beck's actually home from work, so I'll probably spend a little time with her, and then be back. Don't miss me too bad. That was delicious. Some spaghetti, some slow roasted roast beef with my special Rebels Rockin' horseradish sauce. Good stuff for lunch. Anyway, that's not what you're here for. If you follow me on Facebook on my personal page, you see all of the culinary creations I make. Got the mill area cleaned up, got the lathe area pretty well cleaned up. Oh, Duddy Jr., got to put him away. So that's okay. I'm feeling pretty good about that. I was looking at the machinist toolbox and looking at this one. If that was a 3-drawer box, I would be using that one. This one, I've got my measuring stuff in the top. I've got kind of more measuring stuff in the middle, and then all my end mills and stuff in the bottom. I haven't had any nibbles on that. I guess if in a while, if it hasn't sold, I may rethink it, but this one is kind of special to me. It's a piece of garbage. I mean, total piece of garbage, but I bought this down at Gibraltar Trade Center in Detroit. Oh, man. Probably 1985. Yeah, 1985 maybe. My best friend who was killed here a couple of years ago, his brother lived down there, and we would go down to stay with his brother, and we would go different places in the metro area. And Gibraltar Trade Center was someplace we always went. And they had these toolboxes for, I don't know, say it was $25 back then. I don't remember. He bought one and I bought one. I've had it all these years, and especially since he was killed, I kind of just like having it, even though it's a piece of garbage. As far as using it, my dad had used it for years and years, and he didn't need it anymore, so he gave it back to me, and I just like having it around just for the memory. So it is what it is. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know. got to think more. I could use that for something else and use that, but there's not quite enough space in that for the machine tools. Toolbox is going to wait. I want to get the welding bench cleaned off. So I alluded early on that I had some decisions to make, and this isn't intended to be a shop cleaning video, but it's not a talk about it Tuesday. I'm just talking with you guys as I'm doing things and always sharing my thought processes. But first of all, I'm not going to stop doing the channel or anything like that, so that's not what I mean. But I've got to come to some hard decisions, I guess. I've been toying with selling one of the cars that's done just for financial reasons, but I'm going to try not to do that at this point. I like the variety of content we get with all of the cars that we have that we're working on, but we keep accumulating and we're not getting rid either. So we even tried selling the old plow truck, and that went nowhere. We just talked about that, I think. Yeah, we did. Or maybe we're going to talk about that. That'll be coming if it hasn't already come out. I'd hoped to have the Challenger off the rotisserie at this point, and we had talked back in December about, asking you guys when you thought I would have it off. I honestly thought I would have the car off of the rotisserie by the end of Christmas break, by the first of the year. And this is January 24th or 5th today, I think. I don't know, something. And obviously we're nowhere near having it off, and there's some considerations that I have on it, like maybe I should be stringing fuel lines and brake lines while it's still on the rotisserie. That doesn't take long. I'm not talking about plumbing them, but I'm just getting them on the car. I don't have the lizard skin for it, so that's kind of a bummer, just the way things have gone, particularly for the last 2 years. Things have not gone the way that I planned. I was thinking about starting this video out saying, we make our plans and God just laughs. It's life. It's the reality, and that's part of the reason I share pretty transparently with you about stuff all around the shop here. If you're new here, it could appear that I have big money and all kinds of stuff and doing it. I have nothing. I have... Everything that's here was purchased for almost nothing, pennies on the dollar. It was donated. It was some of it is other people's stuff that they weren't using that they're just letting me store for them, and I maintain it by using it all the time. That's an inside joke. So it's not like I have huge money to throw at things. I mean, literally trying to scrape up a few $100s to buy lizard skin it's just not possible right now. That doesn't mean that 2 weeks from now, boom, things could change, but it's been this way for a lot longer than I like. So again, transparency. I'm not whining. I'm not complaining. I'm not even asking. I'm just telling you what I'm dealing with. But it's you guys that make all of this stuff happen. You guys just keep plugging away and supporting and doing stuff and sending stuff, and every bit of it makes a difference. We're not earning anywhere near enough money on YouTube to live off of or fund all of this, but every penny helps. There's one thing I've learned is just how much we really don't need and how much money we waste that we don't realize. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that either, although maybe that would be a good talk about it Tuesday. I want to get the trunk floor in this ASAP, but there's always something. We got a family gathering this weekend that's going to inhibit some of my progress on the projects. I did pick up the seam sealer to do a lot of the stuff under here that needs to be done, so that's good. Well, maybe we'll just do that here for an episode. I'm not sure. It's going to depend on the weather. We're having to haul a lot of firewood, life. And that's the reality for all of us. This is not a full-time gig. I have a business to run, and, life is busy with a lot of things, but forward. So our focus is going to be, we need to get the oil pan off the Oakland. We've talked about that. I want to check that motor, make sure things are good. I want to move forward on getting some of the fabrication and sheet metal work done inside of this to get this car ready to go on here. And of course, we want to get this buttoned up to get it off the rotisserie. So that's going to be my focus. Once the Oakland is checked out, there's not a whole lot more to do to it unless there's something wrong with it. I don't think there is, but then the next step will be we need to get the cab off Becky's 39 pickup and get that in here. I've got, I'm thinking about putting it on my body cart. Maybe we'll build a cart for that. I think I have a set of casters around that John gave me, some big ones. I got to dig around and find those. Those may be good for that. That won't take up a lot of space because we won't have the fenders. It'll be just the cab. We'll take the fenders off, but we have to very carefully piece that thing together enough to be able to take the cab off without completely destroying it. So there's a job of work. I think we're just going to wait until spring. Becky wanted me to have that vehicle done for her birthday this year. That's not going to happen. But I'm going to look for. I was going to piece together a Dakota, and I still may. My buddy John has a frame and part of some of the stuff, but I think I would be wiser to look for an old, $500 rusted into the ground Dakota. That's exactly what I need, which is a club cab short box, is the exact wheelbase we need for that truck. Something that runs and drives. I don't care if it's a 4-cylinder. I've got motors we can put in it, but something that's intact that we can pick up for a few $100 is, I think, the way to go on that. And so that project really won't take terribly long once we get at it, but I think it's best to wait until spring and just focus on the Challenger and the Duster right now. Will I continue to do 3 episodes a week? Yes, I do plan to continue doing 3 episodes a week. I've been doing that for, 5 years now? 6 years, 5 years, something like that. I like the workflow. I like the way it forces me to get stuff done in the shop. There's very few times that I feel like, oh, I just got to go do something to get an episode out. Very few. I'm not saying never, but that's why I try to keep a 6 to 8 week catalog of episodes, in the queue to be released, so that when I run into times like this, I think I'm down to 3 right now. So that causes me stress. But we'll get caught up and so forth. So anyway, I'm going to shut up. We're going to get this area here cleaned up after a whole bunch of projects. We had my buddy Ray. I brought his brother out and we pressed a wheel bearing on his brother's Mitsubishi. We had to do that project. We had the cabinet that we painted for Chris and Colleen. A lot of other stuff going on that's not been on the channel. So anyway, let me just rein this back a little bit and we'll be right back. That works perfect. I love it. I can put the car just as far over as I did before because of the angle. The oven and stuff is right underneath it. Winner. Okay, I'm glad I got that cleaned up. I just need to sweep it off. I'll get my little brush and do that. But I want to go through now. I've already picked up a bunch of stuff. I moved the TIG welder. So I want to go through and get the floor swept and get that done. That will make a huge difference in the way things appear. Yeah, so I've been thinking more about the project priorities, as I said, and I really think focusing on Oakland, Duster, and Challenger is the way to go. Challenger first, Oakland as dad's available, and then once the Challenger is as far along as I can go, we will make the executive decision on skip the lizard skin and just move it off the rotisserie, maybe get some rust proofing to spray under or something. I don't know, but let's just, I figure with what I have to do on that, we are probably a month out from having it to the point, realistically, with the way life is. So March, maybe we'll be at a point where we'll have things far enough along. A lot of the work that needs to be done doesn't have to be done on the rotisserie. So like finishing the roof, stuff like that, it's easier to do it. So again, we'll but I'm just ready to have this car back on its own feet rolling around. I really am, but I don't want to be anxious and go, oh, I should have kept it on there longer because I need to blah, whatever blah is. On the other hand, I feel like Tavia. I've never had a rotisserie till this one, so I'm used to doing that work, not on a rotisserie. So, that's also a reality. But anyway, broom, Mike. Shut up and broom. It's amazing how just doing something like sweeping up the piles on the floor makes a difference in the appearance of the shop. I've got a lot more to do. I need to just straighten this area up, which I'm going to do now. And then the tool area here is a train wreck, and the one over on the toolbox is a train wreck. And I'm going to do that off camera at another time. But I really need to get this under control because I don't mind clutter in the shop. It's a working shop and we're super busy, as you've heard me say ad nauseum. What I can't stand is where things were, in the fact that, and part of it is because I've moved so much stuff and cars are in different positions and toolboxes in a different place. And that's part of it, but that's not all of it. I can't stand when it's inefficient and I can't find crap. It drives me nuts. I'm pretty good at remembering where things are. But because there was just so much chaos out here, I couldn't keep a handle on where things were. So I've got a lot of stuff staged back here to be put away. Most of the tools that go on the tool board are there. I just got to get them put up. This bin needs to be dumped. That one needs to be dumped, as far as putting everything back where it belongs. The biggest challenge in organization is when you don't have a home for everything, it's really hard to put things away. So I still got that big whiteboard to figure out. I'm going to hold off on that for today. But I wanted to just share my thinking and share the progress on getting the shop back under control, that kind of stuff. So as usual, tell me your thoughts. I know this wasn't a super exciting episode, but part of spending the day in the shop, this has to happen. Whether we're going through and doing an organization series, another one in the organization series, which I do. I have more to share on that. Or just like today, which is just rein it in and push the walls back and deal with the trash and the basics. But it was more today about just sharing my priorities right now on what I want to accomplish and what my game plan is. So that's where we're at. I appreciate you just hanging out, as always, and that's good progress. We'll get the rest of this stuff squirreled away here, and either tomorrow or the next day, we should be back doing some hands-on, whether it's the duster hood or I got a couple ideas of stuff to do on the Challenger that needs to be done. It's been a while since we've done anything on that. So that's the direction I'm leaning. All right, we'll catch you on the next one. Like, share, subscribe, please. The channel continues to grow. The more it grows, the more I can do. The more I do, the more I have to share. The more the channel will grow. It's that symbiotic building energy kind of thing. All right, run!